Tonight, after a recent youth fentanyl overdose, we examine what constitutes a fatal amount of fentanyl. Plus, the city will be receiving much-needed infrastructure funding from the annual $3 million government grant. And community gardens have risen in popularity, but they require leadership and guidance to make them work. Good evening, I'm Eddie Huband and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight. Just days ago, a tragedy took place when a Prince George youth passed away after being in critical condition due to a fentanyl overdose. Fentanyl is a powerful opioid. Just a few grains the size of sand can be fatal, as was the case when the youth lost their life. Dave Branco has more now on how the drug has deadly consequences.
After a local teenager tragically died from an overdose last month, Prince George RCMP wants to remind the public that in BC, adults are allowed to possess up to 2.5 grams of illicit substances for personal use. However, it's important to note this allowance does not apply to youth.
There's no exemption under our Controlled Drugs and Substances Act to have youth possessing or carrying, even for their own use, illicit drugs.
2.5 grams. This sugar sachet here is 3.6 grams of sugar, and probably about 2.5 grams of sugar and about 1 gram of paper in the package. So that's about the equivalence of what sort of drug you could carry, right? Is about what you would find in one of these sugar packages.
Drug dealers typically mix fentanyl with other drugs on the street. It's this unsupervised combination where the drug becomes deadly.
And the reason is it's a much cheaper form. It's readily available, commercially available. You can go buy it at a pharmacy, right? And it's a much easier compound to make.
In a non-medical situation, individuals may experience a rapid onset of euphoria. However, even the tiniest doses of fentanyl can be deadly.
But 1/1000th of this container is a lethal dose of fentanyl, pure fentanyl. But fentanyl isn't generally found in a pure form. What is used for is to cut other drugs. So normally you bring in heroin from overseas and you'll add baking soda to it or other materials.
According to Dr. Whitcomb, street-level drug dealers who manufacture drugs may be unaware of or unable to control the amount of fentanyl in each dose, as it is odorless and tasteless.
The courts have determined that everyone should know how lethal fentanyl is, and so dealing that, becoming a trafficker or trafficking fentanyl, you know the potential consequences of what could happen to the people you're selling that illicit drug to.
Dave Branco, CKPG News.
It was a busy night last night for local fire crews for a variety of reasons. Along with some motor vehicle accidents, crews responded to a fire in a shelter on Dominion Street, which was the result of a fire in the kitchen. But the bigger concern, was a fire in Moccasin Flats. Crews arrived to find one structure fully engulfed. Once that fire was handled, another was spotted a short distance away. No one was hurt in either incident, but they have been deemed suspicious.
Around the 10:30 mark, crews were reported to fire an outbuilding at Lower Patricia Encampment. On arrival, one of the tiny homes was fully engulfed. It was close proximity to two other ones that were exposed and impacted. While they were there setting up to fight that fire, another fire broke out in another occupancy further down the encampment. And so we typically send two crews. The second crew attacked that fire. As they were setting up to attack that fire, the report of the fire at the homeless shelter came in, and our crews then divided and conquered. They did a great job knocking the fires down at Lower Patricia, and then were able to manage the fire at the shelter. It's what we're dealing with now. They did a great job quickly knocking those two fires down at Lower Patricia. The one was close to the embankment, and it was a larger tent tarp structure. It was unoccupied. So the fire was very spectacular, very quick and very spectacular. It was above the tree line, which created some concerns, obviously, for the people up in Miller Addition.
Three levels of government say they finalized a deal that will provide more than $1.6 billion in federal funding over the next 5 years to communities in BC to build and maintain critical infrastructure. In 2024-25, over $300 million will be coming to British Columbia, and some of that money will make its way to Prince George. Adam Burles reports.
The Canada Community Building Fund, or CCBF, is formerly known as the Federal Gas Tax Fund. The CCBF is delivered first by the federal government to the provinces and territories, which then distributes the funds to communities to use for infrastructure. Initially, when it was created, the Federal Gas Tax Fund money was earmarked for very specific things, such as road rehabilitation, but has evolved over the years to fund some civic facility projects. In the past, there has been uncertainty on whether the funds would actually be provided every year.
At the time was something that had to be renewed almost every year, and that meant there was uncertainty every single year. But since then, successive governments, conservative, liberal governments, whoever's been in power has seen the value in this. It's become a line item in the budget, and it's gotten indexed.
The city of Prince George will be receiving approximately $3 million from the fund, going towards eligible infrastructure projects. And that money is needed, with the city being able to use the funds for a wide range of infrastructure priorities, such as repairing roads, sidewalks, and fixing critical pieces of infrastructure that are buried deep underground, such as water and sewer lines. The funding could be used for already planned capital projects, but it could also provide help for when the unexpected happens, like a water main break. With the cost to municipal governments increasing, the CCBF has had to grow to keep up with costs.
Now it's increasing regularly. You know, the costs for cities, the infrastructure costs, go up faster than inflation. So pretty important to have that index in there. It means that we're not stuck at 2000 or 2008 levels. It's growing every year.
And if you look through the city's financial and budget plans, you can see where CCBF funds are used.
If residents want to see the impact, in our budget book we identify the funding source, and if you see CCBF, Community Building Fund, or in some of the older projects, the Gas Tax Fund, you'll see that's where the money's coming from for some pretty critical Prince George infrastructure.
In the last 10 years alone, $1.25 billion has been dispersed among local governments in BC for infrastructure priorities. Adam Burles, CKPG News.
The Spruce City Wildlife Association needs volunteer help next week. These bins that you see here hold 100-foot nets. The association has about a dozen of them, and they can be pretty beat up from previous years. And now the association is hoping to get some help from the public to mend the nets so they can be put out into various rivers in the region to collect the Chinook salmon brood for release.
So the Chinook east of town are spring 5.2s, and the Chinook in the Nechako are summer 5.2s. Spring versus summer usually has to do with when they're migrating. So the ones headed up the Nechako head into the Fraser a little bit later than the springs. The springs will head up, actually they're probably on their way up now even, if some of them might even be in the area. 5.2 has to do with their life cycle, so it's a full 5-year life cycle, and 2 years is spent in freshwater. Wherever we capture our fish is where those fry get released. So if we take eggs from the Nechako, those fry that we raise are released back into the Nechako. Same thing with Swift Creek. So we have everything kind of biosecure in our facility and split up, so those fish don't get to meet or mingle or anything like that. They are separated.
A flag raising took place at City Hall this morning to mark the beginning of Pride Week in Prince George. Mayor Simon Yu was joined by other city councillors outside of City Hall to proclaim Pride Week in the city starting today, and it'll run until Saturday, July 13th. To celebrate, the Prince George Pride Society has a number of events planned throughout the week. President of the society, C.J. Klitsch, says that the society had a very short time to prepare, but is looking forward to how it all turns out.
Tuesday is the movie screening, 1969, the mistranslation that shifted culture. That'll be at the Knox Performance Center. On Wednesday, we've got our Pride roller skating, which will be at the Rolla Dome from 7 to 9. And on Thursday, we have our Pride Trivia Night, which will be at Deadfall Brewing. And then that leads us up to Saturday, when we will have our 27th annual Pride Parade.
It's just the opportunity for folks to come together, whether you're queer or trans or an ally or a family member or relative. Really, it's about inclusivity and acceptance and bringing everyone together to celebrate that.
It's that time of year when sprouts are popping up in community gardens all across the city. With access cut to the local food supply on more than one occasion, the issue of food supply and gardening has become even more important. Cheryl Jan reports.
20-plus years ago, the Gilliards set down roots, quite literally, on a 10-acre piece of land adjacent to the Hudson's Bay Nature Park.
We bought in the year 2000, and the lady we bought from was Valentina Goodwin, who inherited it from her folks, who were Mr. and Mrs. Sopel, who came in from Pineview area and established this as a place to grow vegetables and fruits, and they sold them to the Royal Produce, and the Royal Produce was one of the local Safeway stores in the day.
Community gardens saw a resurgence since several factors came into play year after year, such as fires and floods. It made people acutely aware of how precarious our fruits and vegetables really can be, and the Gilliards opted to share their little bit of heaven.
We tried to grow something here, and it was twice as much as we expected to get from it. So we thought, well, we should share this because we have more land than we need.
However, they say before launching into a plot at a community garden, do some homework.
It's a commitment, so you can't just plant your garden and walk away and expect that it'll be there in full production a month from now, because it needs weeding and watering here almost daily. So
it's not for the faint of heart. Like Pat said, it's the gardeners here are very attentive to their plots, and that's why some of them become available, that they find that they think they can just put them in and that'll be it and you're done for the year, and they find out, oh my goodness, it's a lot of work, and it's like raising a child, right? You have to look after it every day.
Today there are 72 operating plots at this site, and the demand for access is high.
We have quite a wait list. We don't advertise, we don't publish, we don't do anything. It's all word of mouth. We are a very closed off little community group out here, basically, gardening on their land. Yeah. So we try to be super respectful of them and what they give to us.
So if you're a novice gardener wanting to strike out on your own or be a part of a community garden, be patient, and soon you will be enjoying the fruits of your labors. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The Canada Games Plaza will be a hub of activity every Friday as the popular Foodie Friday event makes its return. Tommy Osborne visited the first Foodie Friday of the year and brings us the details.
Foodie Friday is back. After COVID shut it down, it's now back for the second year in a row, bringing local food vendors, games, and live performances.
We're here most Fridays, all of July and August. It gives everybody the opportunity to come down, have some food, listen to some music, enjoy the sunshine.
Jones says the vendors and entertainment will be changing most Fridays, so even if you visited once, you'll have a new experience each time. Foodie Friday certainly delivers on being a fun community activity, and Jones adds it's great for the local economy too, as it brings people downtown and gives them a chance to enjoy other things in the area, like shopping, for example.
The whole point is just to bring activity downtown in a positive way and just to, enjoy what Prince George has to offer.
The vendors are, of course, the main draw of Foodie Fridays, and the first Foodie Friday of 2024 saw a new player on the scene, Joel's Cookies. This was its first public event, as the business is only a month old.
This is my inspiration. He's my grandson. He's on the autism spectrum, and he wants to learn how to work.
While Dre's inspiration is her grandson Joel, she adds she loves cookies specifically because it's a fun way to give the community a tasty treat and get out and meet more people.
I'm born and raised. My family are pioneers. They've been here since 1925. And I just love Prince George. I love my city. I love the people of my city. And this is a way to get to know more people.
As for the attendees, they certainly enjoyed playing some games and enjoying a great lunch and entertainment.
It's nice to see a lot of people out here just having fun, enjoying the weather, and the great things Prince George has to offer.
With a wide variety of food, many games, and of course the community that all came here to enjoy a beautiful summer day, the return of Foodie Friday was certainly enjoyed by all who participated. And if you want to join, every Friday from 12 to 4, it'll be held right here in Canada Games Plaza. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
This week on Entertainment Spotlight, we're doing a horror summer blockbuster, Long Legs, starring Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage. In this film, FBI agent Lee Harker is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult.
I saw a beast rise up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his horns he wore 10 crowns.
Now, Harker then discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. This movie has been compared to sort of a modern-day version of Silence of the Lambs, an intense psycho thriller with twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent? Yeah.
Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
While Monroe is a generally unknown actress, Cage is enjoying a career resurgence, and it's a totally new kind of role for him to tackle. It should be very exciting. Longlegs comes out in theaters on July 12th.
I'll be waiting.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is sitting at $1.62.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Nanaimo at $1.52.9 per liter. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.41.7 per liter, while BC has an average price of $1.75 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
The Washington Capitals have announced the signing of their first-round draft pick as Tarek Parasak has put pen to paper on his entry-level deal. Parasak was selected 17th overall in the 2024 NHL draft by the Capitals. In his first season last year with Prince George, he put up 105 points, leading every rookie in the CHL. He now inks a 3-year contract with Washington after becoming the 5th Cougar in franchise history to be selected in the first round. He's currently attending the Capitals development camp, where he's joined by former Cougar teammates Zach Funk and captain Hudson Thornton. The TSX is down 185 points to close at 22,059. The Dow Jones is up 68 points to close at 39,376. And CN Rail went down $1.94 to close at $160.77.
Good evening, everyone. Again, we are looking at lots of warm weather. In fact, hot weather is probably a better way to put it, because this ridge is building stronger and stronger each and every day. It was very pleasant out there today. Lots of sunshine. We'll see those westerly winds easing up as we move through the evening. And then after that, it's really going to be a hot one. So just take note, the temperatures are going to really increase as we get into the later part of the weekend and early next week. So taking necessary precautions when you are out in the heat. And of course, the UV index is going to be extremely high as well. So this is our satellite. There's not a whole lot to show. There's no disturbances coming our way to break down this ridge. It's just allowing the ridge to build stronger and stronger each day. The futurecast shows a little bit of instability, maybe down through the southern interior. We're looking at maybe a scattered shower or two for the evening there, but everywhere else, lovely. Lots and lots of warm weather to report. So here's a snapshot of what we're looking at tomorrow. 34 Kamloops into the low 30s, Kelowna, and again, getting even hotter than that as we move through the days, the next few days. 26 for us, sunshine right through the day tomorrow. Really great day tomorrow. Then Sunday gets even hotter into the 30s, and the same up in Fort St. John and many areas up and down the coast. Really going to be quite warm, especially away from the water. 25 Fort St. James, 27 for your day tomorrow in Mackenzie. We're looking at temperatures in and around 28, 29 for Quesnel. Warmer down through McBride as well, and heating up every day, every single single day we'll see a change in the temperatures. So the West Coast looks wonderful tomorrow, 27 for Vancouver. Edmonton seeing some of the warm temperatures as well, 25 with sunshine, a few clouds in the mix, some higher cloud in the mix for you tomorrow. Still very stormy through parts of the prairies, especially over towards Winnipeg, 26 degrees. So very mild, very warm. Of course, with daytime heating, we get that instability and the potential for some thunder shower activity. So that's what they're looking at. 27 for Montreal, the same sort of system there. And then further east, we see some sunshine, some clouds, and some showers. So sort of a mixed bag there. So this is our look ahead, and you can see it's sizzling down through parts of the U.S., but we're seeing this high pressure building and all of that hot air pushing up from the south, that jet stream pushing further north and allowing the hot air to really settle in. And you'll see a big build in temperatures as we get into Monday, Tuesday next week. Burns Lake up to 32 by your Tuesday. Plenty of warm temperatures, although down to 4 tonight. So you get a bit of a reprieve from the heat through the overnight lows the next couple of days. 8 degrees tonight for Mackenzie, mainly clear. 27 tomorrow, a beautiful day out tomorrow, and then even warmer for Sunday. Early next week, really going to be heating up. McBride, 9 overnight tonight, mostly sunny, very pleasant tomorrow. 31 for your Sunday, and then you're up to 33 and 35. So this is sort of the peak of that ridge right in here for Monday, Tuesday, right across most of the province. 28 degrees, plenty of sunshine for Quesnel the next few days, and then you're right up to 37. So those extreme temperatures are coming your way as well as we move into early next week. For Prince George, this is it for us. Tomorrow, another very comfortably pleasant day. 26 degrees will be our high, sunny sky, and then warmer on Sunday, Monday as well. 31 degrees. We get really hot for Tuesday, 33. So mostly sunny and hot is really the story of our weather going forward.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
Canada continues their Copa America journey tonight as they play their first ever match in the knockout stage against Venezuela. Despite being ranked 54th in the world, Venezuela has had a great tournament so far. They finished at the top of their group and have yet to lose a match. They're led by Edward Bello, who shares the lead on the team in goals with 2. Meanwhile, Canada finished second in their group and will have to find some offense from someone. They've only scored 1 goal in the 3 matches they played. And an injury update, Tajon Buchanan will be out for the rest of the tournament. A big loss for the Canadians. Kickoff for this one goes at 6 p.m. with Canada having a chance to go to the semifinals. And the first quarter-final action of the Euros took place today as 4 countries looked to punch their ticket to the next round. In the morning, it was Spain and Germany battling after Florian Wirtz scored on the 89th to send this game to extra time. It was Mikel Merino playing hero for España as a goal in the 119th minute put this match out of reach. Spain moves on to the next round while the hosts of the tournament are eliminated. Later on, Portugal took on France. It was a scoreless first half between both teams, and it continued all the way until penalties, where France would prevail, winning 5-3 on penalty kicks. They will now take on Spain on Tuesday. So yesterday was the 4th of July, and nothing is more American than hot dogs, lemonade, and baseball. We have a special USA edition in tonight's CKP3, and a warning, it might get a bit gross.
We start with a new world record.
The kid, are we open? Badlands in a zone here. I don't know it's like a wave machine. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, Badlands Booker, a new world record.
The one known as Badlands Chugs downs a gallon of lemonade in 21 seconds to win his 4th consecutive Nathan's Famous Lemonade Chug contest. Next, Yankees on the 4th.
High fly ball, deep center. Fairchild back. On the track, at the wall. See ya! A 2-run blast for Soto. And it's 8-4 Reds.
Juan Soto cracks a home run as he has one of the smoothest swings in the game for America's baseball team. Finally, a new champion.
Few except me could have anticipated.
Yeah, it is, and we're still hanging tough. 10 seconds to go, but I think Pat Bertoletti's about to have a Coke and a smile here at Nathan's Famous. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put down your hot dog!
a personal best.
Patrick Bertoletti, 58, Nathan's Famous, hot dogs and buns.
Even though Joey Chestnut didn't participate, it's still tradition, as Patrick Bertoletti wins 2024 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest with 58 hot dogs eaten, and he takes top spot in tonight's CKP3.
That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us as always, and we will be back next week. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We'll see you later.